Do you want more success, more growth, more results? Then it's time for the Boundless Success Accelerator from the Modern Observer Group. This isn't your average coaching program. It's where top performers come to dominate. Weekly group sessions, on-demand coaching, a community that's got your back, and a power-packed library of tools to supercharge your business and career. No more excuses, no more waiting. Get in, level up, and start building the life you've been dreaming about. Visit us at modernobserver.com/boundless success to join today. Let's get you to the next level.
We're here because free speech is under attack. We're here because people are being convinced that socialism works. We're here because people are being judged guilty until proven innocent. We are fighting back with facts. This is not a safe zone, so buckle up, Buttercup. This is the raw, naked truth.
President Biden pardons Hunter. Fighting heats up in Syria. Australia passes a social media ban, and more. Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lopkin, and here's the news you need to know. Aside from the traditional pardoning of the turkey for Thanksgiving, President Biden pardoned his son Hunter Biden on Sunday, wiping away his criminal convictions on tax and gun charges, despite promising the American people numerous times he would not grant such a reprieve. Biden's pardon, a decision he claimed to make over the Thanksgiving weekend, despite reports of him considering it as far back as July, came as his son was set to appear for sentencing hearings later this month in Delaware and California, where he faced the potential of lengthy prison terms. In a statement, the president claimed it was clear that his son had been treated differently by the Justice Department and singled out only because he is my son, and that is wrong. In fact, the Justice Department was much more lenient on Hunter than they would have been on any typical criminal. Washington insiders say Biden's pardon comes in a last-ditch effort to remove evidence from the now infamous laptop from the legal system, which contained evidence of criminal activity not just by Hunter Biden, but by the president. The latest targets of anti-Semitic attacks spreading through Western Europe were Jewish teens and children in the United Kingdom. On Thursday, 2 buses carrying students from a London Jewish school were attacked at a bus stop by a swarm of around 10 teens from a nearby school who wielded large rocks, the Jewish Chronicle reported. 4 teens boarded one of the double-decker buses and went to the second level, where they began to swear at students and give them the middle finger. One 12-year-old student, who professed he was scared by the attack, described how the teens were swearing at us, saying, "F Israel, nobody likes you, F off you bitches." They were filming us like they were enjoying it. There were lots of people in the street, and nobody tried to stop them, the student told the Jewish Chronicle. Russian and Syrian forces launched airstrikes yesterday on rebel territory in northwest Syria, leaving more than 300 dead, including 20 civilians. The rebels, who captured Aleppo in a surprise attack, now control a broad stretch of land in the west and northwest of the country. Their breach of Aleppo has reignited the Syrian civil war and given insurgent militias the first upper hand since their nadir in 2016, when Assad's government recaptured the part of the city controlled by rebels. 2 members of the Venezuelan prison gang Tren de Aragua, who participated in an armed apartment invasion in Aurora, Colorado, were captured in New York City. Denier Aramillo Meneses, age 23, and Edison Peña Angulo, age 25, both pictured in the viral video of the apartment invasion, were nabbed in the Bronx by an NYPD gang task force and Homeland Security in a major credit card scam and drug trafficking bust around 3:30 a.m. on Wednesday, according to a law enforcement source. 15 suspected members of the notorious gang were picked up after a 6-month investigation into violent gang crimes that led to a drug ring, sources told the New York Post. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau flew to Florida and met with Donald Trump at his Mar-a-Lago club on Friday evening, less than a week after the U.S. president-elect threatened heavy tariffs on imports from North American trading partners. Trump said in a post on Truth Social that it was a very productive meeting on topics including fentanyl, immigration, and trade that will require both countries to work together to address. On illegal drugs, Trump said Trudeau made a commitment to work with us to end this terrible devastation. Trudeau told reporters that it was an excellent conversation, but didn't respond to a question about tariffs. Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy are headed to Washington, D.C. this week to meet with Republican lawmakers about ways to cut the fat from the federal government as co-leads of the Department of Government Efficiency, also known as DOGE, under the incoming Trump administration. House Speaker Mike Johnson announced on X that he will host the two billionaires for a discussion with GOP members on Thursday and issued a save-the-date invitation for all Republican legislators in both the House and Senate for the gathering. Looking forward to hosting Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy next week on Capitol Hill to discuss major reform ideas to achieve regulatory rescissions, administrative reductions, and cost savings, and revive the principle of limited government, Johnson wrote on X. Donald Trump has made this possible. Musk and Ramaswamy are wasting no time in laying out their vision for slashing government bloat through DOGE. The pair penned an op-ed published in the Wall Street Journal last week explaining how the outside government agency will operate to determine suggestions for cuts. Meanwhile, a group of former United Nations officials, fed up with the inefficiency there, launched DOGE UN, an investigative effort that will highlight waste by the world body. The effort, similar to Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy's Department of Government Efficiency, will culminate in a report online ahead of the 2026 Secretary General selection, in hopes that the next leader will prioritize making the agency run more efficiently. Why stop at this country's federal agencies, said Hugh Dugan, a longtime member of the U.S. delegation to the UN and former National Security Council advisor on international organizations. We need to centralize our understanding of our cash flow to and from the UN and the results we'd like to see from our participation in international organizations, he said. Australia bans children under the age of 16 from using social media. The world's strictest legislation on curbing social media use among kids was passed by the Australian Parliament on Friday, with the goal of protecting the country's youth from online harms. In the 12 months before the law goes into effect, the government is putting the onus on social media companies to take reasonable steps to prevent under 16s from having an account. Should tech companies fail to comply, they could be fined up to $32 million. Underage users and their parents will face no penalties. Opponents say the strict guardrails were rushed into law without considering unintended consequences, and enforcement will be virtually impossible thanks to tools like VPNs. That's the Raw Naked Truth. You can catch every episode of The Raw Naked Truth at xvadio.com, the Apple Podcast app, YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music, and other platforms that respect freedom of speech. We'll see you next time.